Alright, turn 13, 1:30 in the afternoon, and things aren't looking great, but I'll get to that in a second. Did a little bit more tinkering. Let's have a look at Ligny where Blucher is, and I managed to just play around with the leader profiles, the leader boxes. Actually no, they're not the leader units, the leader profiles, excuse me, and managed to make them all colour. So I'm working on that. I've done all the Prussians, so all my Prussian leaders will have a nice lovely colourful profile, and I've nearly done the French, and then I'll do the Allies and then send them on to my opponents as well. And if you like them, I'll put them up as a mod, and you can all sort of download that. Every leader is now different, so there is no duplication, which was kind of annoying when you get two leaders in the same box with completely different names, but they had the same profile picture. So everybody has their own unique profile. So we'll talk about planning in a second, but we're going to get straight into it and have a look at the mess down in Charleroi. He's got a lot of troops there coming up from the southwest towards Marchienne now. He's got some lancers, some more lancers, some more lancers. He's got a lot of line troops. He's brought artillery up. All in all, I need to get out of there pretty sharpish. We can maybe have a bit of a delay in action with my dragoons and that artillery. However, I'm not going to stay and fight. Got to carry on bringing the rest of my reserve cavalry to sort of this area here and get everybody out of Charleroi pretty sharpish. Do I risk that bridge? This is the thing. Does he have pioneers, I wonder? Don't know. Because if he doesn't have pioneers and we get it less than 150, I think 100 is a push, then at least he can't get artillery across there. If we get it less than 100, he can't get cavalry over there. Get it less than 50, which is not going to happen. And he won't be able to get infantry over there. However, it looks like he's attacked the Bergisches troops, and those Lambo were routed already from the last time. So yeah, as I suspected, I'm going to have to get out of Charleroi pretty sharpish as well. What we got there, 183. I will stay and have another go at that bridge for sure. Possibly with that artillery as well, just to try. If we can take one bridge, it's better than nothing, because then it will create a choke point for any troops arriving from the south. Up towards Châtelet then, it looks like he's not going to attempt Châtelet at all. But I will blow that bridge, just to be annoying for him. And probably next turn, get everybody out up that road up towards Fleurus. Moignolet, as we suspected, he's bringing a lot of troops over in force. We didn't have a chance in hell of blowing that bridge. So this is a rearguard action, and until who's got to go up? They've got to go up. They've got to go up. That supply wagon can go up. One more turn with the guns unlimbered, because his cavalry will get up there. Maybe a bit of a rearguard here just to protect them, and then get them on that road up towards Fleurus. Business as usual for Tielemans' Corps, business as usual for Pierce's Corps up here. Get them down into Ligny. And we talked about planning as well. And as nice as it would be to have that pincer movement, I don't think it's going to happen. Because the problem is, at the minute, I don't really have a... Well, I do sort of have a plan, but I haven't put it into effect yet. That's the situation at the minute. Zieten is pretty much on his own. Tielemans on it. Well, he's not on his own. Pierce is with some troops, some of his second corps at Ligny. Tielemans' corps is on the march in that southeast corner. But I don't have the forces to defeat the French. I'm not in a good position. I'm strung out on the march. And my allies are there somewhere. I had no communication with them, so I don't know his plan. I don't know his intentions. Don't know his dispositions. So I think I'm going to have to go with the sort of near enough historical route and march north. Hope my allies realise the same. And we've got to basically concentrate somewhere, or maybe sort of centre of the map. Waterloo, Mont Saint John, Genappe, around that area. And basically just go on the march. Start to get all my troops up north. Hopefully by this time I'll have some communication with Wellington. got reinforcements. Bülow's corps will come on the map as well, but he's going to come down in the southeast. But I've got a little plan for him. He's going to hold off and cover the south. And then, of course, the Allies have got to sort of see what I'm doing, hopefully. Hopefully we've got communication there, but then the French are going to start to move. So basically just bringing everybody north. And then the trouble is that's relying on the French sort of doing that and coming north and not going northeast and not going northwest. Even if it does go northwest, I suppose it's going to be the same sort of thing. Northeast, that would mean that we're going to have to deal with him. I think he'd want to pick us off one by one, because that's what I would do. Particularly because Wellington isn't on the field. We're trying to play an ahistorical, you know, just a war game, basically, and not reenact Waterloo. However, we didn't think it through, really, and say we should have adjusted it so Wellington was on the field from the start, to be honest, because we've retained that. Without, we didn't really think ahead. Again, thanks to Leicester and Expert Racing for suggesting marching to the sound of the guns rule. I quite like that. Maybe an initiative check, as long as the battle is within, I don't know, let me think now. A couple of hexes. We can think about that. 20, 30 hexes possibly. Roll an initiative check and they can then march to the sound of the guns. It's a good shout, and it will even it up for the Anglo-Allies, certainly, if they're within range. So that's my plan. I'm going to have to start moving all my corps north, basically. I know just from the jump map and by the local populace, I've heard rumours that the Allies are around here in some force. So marching to safety in numbers, and then everything's going to change when we meet in, hopefully, Genappe. That's where I suggested Wellington to meet. So that's the plan. From where I am at the minute, get everybody on the march to the north. Hopefully my allies, that by that time we've got some communication, and then hold out in the north. That's the short-term plan that hopefully will lead to the proper long-term plan. Back to the turn itself then. We're going to have to write some messages as well. I'm going to have to send one to Wellington. We're going to have to send one to Tielemann. Disregard your last orders and march north. We're going to have to send one to Zieten. March north at your earliest convenience. And Pierce's second corps. Now, I'm going to have a look for a leader here, because I don't think it's fair. Because we had the initial orders, but we haven't sent anything since. Otherwise, we're going to have to bring Pierce's corps all the way down, which we'll have continued doing anyway until... let's have a look. We don't want the leaders on top. They're going to have to continue marching to the south anyway until they get that message. Who have we got there? Boza and Rekal. Okay. I don't want command range. Who are you in charge of? You're just them. You haven't got the whole corps. So, who have we got? So the one's just this cavalry. So I have to send one to the cavalry. The craft. Schulenberg. No. Major Roos. No. Yeah, I was in charge. I hope they're not all piecemeal. No, I'll be in. Okay, well, it might have to be. It might have to be. Again, it's the spirit of the rules. We've got to send a message up to them to tell them to march on. Now, look, I am going to say here to that road to Quatre Bras. Let's call it splits. Where's Marbay in relation? Nice central point there, just around Ligny, just north of Ligny. Bring them down, Tielemann up. He's going to have to march via Gembloux. Yeah, so that is Fleurus. That's Ligny. He marches up that road. He's covering our eastern flank, which is good. And okay, they're going to Fleurus. However, that road to Quatre Bras looks quite nice. It's open, it's free. Good opportunity for a cavalry rearguard there, though. and the guys in Fluoris, they would have to march from Fluoris to... Where's some middle ground? Melee? Yeah. March to melee. That is going to be the order. I'm not going to bore you with typing that up. What I will do though, I'll let you in on the dice rolls. One sec. So I wrote a couple of messages out. First one was to Wellington. So my plan has changed. First corps have been ordered to abandon Châtelet and Charleroi and march north towards Melee. Second and third corps will march north to Melee. They won't at all. They're going to Marbais. Good job I checked. Avoid the same mistake. My intention is to move my whole army northwards and establish a defensive position upon finding suitable ground. Enemy strength in the south still unknown. That's because Ziethen's message hasn't got through to say that they are, until next time, that they are increasing in strength. I've put my hexes in. And all I need to do now is a dice roll. See what we're going to get. 5, not too bad. So 5. 16.2. Okay, so they're going to arrive on turn 29. Okay, that's a long time away. So the other good thing is, somebody mentioned, is when we get up there towards Wellington and he comes down that end, courier messages between our forces are going to be a lot quicker, hell of a lot quicker. In fact, now they're quite short because we're only sending them to that hex on the Brussels road. We didn't calculate or take in just up here. We didn't take into consideration that, was that the one, or is it this one? Yeah, this one. We didn't take into consideration that he's actually going to, they've got to go up that road, up until Brussels, but we said he's coming down, so we'll leave it as is. As we said, there's so many different variables we could have considered. So the next message was from Blücher to Ziethen. He's down at Charleroi. And Châtelet, immediately withdraw your corps and march northwards towards Melee. Send situation report immediately upon receipt of this message, just so that we know he's doing it. Do not overuse your cavalry in defence of your march. I put that caveat in as well, just in case we decide to get too heavy. We've got to save them. We don't have a lot of cavalry, and in this campaign we don't have any guard cavalry. Our cavalry's pretty rubbish. We've got a lot of Landwehr cavalry. We've made up almost half of the cavalry we've got. I'm marching northwards with 2nd and 3rd Corps towards Marbais. Send confirmation of these orders. Now, I put that in just because for an initiative check, you got to think the commander, if he knows what is happening in the grand plan, it might change whether he chooses to use an initiative check or not. Remember, we don't know, or Ziethen doesn't know from where he is, where Tiedemann is, where Pierce is, and what they're doing and what their intentions are. So that might have an influence on whether or not we decide to take an initiative roll later on. We'll get a delay roll on this one. We're going to get 5 again. Okay, not too bad. Okay, so right, something. That's because I haven't put Ziethen. I was going to say, that's a hell of a long way away. Where is he? He's down in Châtelet. Where is he? There he is. What hex is that? 398362. 398362. That's a bit more like it. So he's going to arrive in a couple of turns. To Tiedemann from Blücher. New orders. Disregard your previous orders. March your corps northeast on the Gembloux road. And then head for Sombref. Continue your march northwest at that point and rally with myself and 2nd Corps at Marbais. Send confirmation of these orders. So I'll show you what all these orders are in a second. Our delay roll. Will it be another 5? Doubt it. 11. Okay, not too bad. This just adds a little bit of randomness to it. Even though the number was randomly generated and I don't have a dice in front of me, it's something. So he's going to arrive in 15. That's very good, actually. That's 2 turns, so he'll get that. But to be honest, he's right there anyway, pretty much on the outskirts of Fluoris. And then I had a look up in the north at the rest of 2nd Corps, and I've called them the 2nd Corps detachment. Now, I've got Major General Bose up there. He's one of the most senior officers up there. He's in command range of most of them if he was to be the leader of in command of that detachment. And I thought to myself, they are fairly strung out, and within the spirit of the rules, they're on a road, and messages will get there quick, but it will take time to filter back to the rest of them on the march. What I'm going to do is 2 delay rolls, so effectively it might be up to an extra 2 turns. I think that's fair enough. Sort of making it up as I go along, but I could, by the letter of the law, just use second corps under Pierce, but that's not realistic. That wouldn't happen. He's too far away. So what I've said is we'll get a message up to Bose. Bose will receive that message and send it back. He's almost at the head of the column. So swings and roundabouts, this kind of thing. If I do 2 delay rolls... Oof. 18 and 9, so what's that? 27. Okay. That's fair enough. I think that's a fair compromise. And upon receipt of these orders, divert all troops under your command to Marbay, align yourself with Major General Pierce and 3rd Corps, march with all haste. So they're the only messages I've got at the moment, and just to show you where these places were, I can't remember myself now. Where was it? Up here. There's the melee. That's where 1st Corps are going to go. So 1st Corps are at Fleurus, and they're here. And Marbay is somewhere up here. There we go. There's Marbay. So 2nd Corps are going to march down from the north when they get that message. They're going to continue going south towards Ligny for the time being until they receive it. That's the other thing. They're coming towards that messenger, so I'm not too worried that it might be slightly short count. And Tiedemann is going to also go up this road initially to Gembloux, turn to Sombref, and then across, just because I want what's here of 2nd Corps to stay at Ligny until they sort of get up here north of them. Just in case the French break through, we need something there to defend everybody on the march and get ourselves into position. And so that is, we're getting towards a long-term plan now. I better do some movement saying that, and I'll get back to you once I've done that movement. So movement all done, usual fare, 2nd Corps marching south. Zieten has got to Fleurus. Beg your pardon, Tiedemann has got to Fleurus, and he's going to sort of hang around there until he gets that message, which is due in, let's have a look, we are turn 13. Confirm your last orders to march to Ligny. So in 2 turns he's going to get that anyway. So no sooner has he got to Fleurus, he's not going to Ligny, but however he will have to march to Ligny because that's the information he's got. Follow me? Around Fleurus itself then I just unlimbered a gun, my battery. I got the troops marching through the woods, heading north, back to a bit of safety. We'll start at Mornulay this time. These guns here, I've got to be careful. I think this is about the last turn before we limber up and get out of here. Sharpish. I think now. Okay, I'll just get that out of the way. They do have 2 guns. We say have got 2 shots in case on anyway, so technically that supply wagon could actually just, yeah, we'll get them out of the way. Seidlitz, he's bringing some West Prussians in. We'll bring them just in here because we're going to need them to cover that retreat possibly. Around Châtelet, haven't really done much, all about blowing this bridge. Can we finally do it? What have we got? 143. So we can't get artillery across it. Useless. These guns probably useless. Oh, not too bad that time. So he can't get cavalry over it, which is good. Begin melee. And they're disrupted, so I can't see them being that good. Absolutely useless. Okay, not to worry, not to worry. One more turn on that and then we're off from Châtelet. And they can stay there, these pioneers. Let's bring them up because they're within range of opportunity fire if he does come up there. That's it. We're going to abandon Châtelet next turn, or the turn after. We'll hopefully... we will blow one bridge by the look of it. I'd be surprised if we didn't. Around Charleroi then. Again, it's going to be blowing bridges. And lots of opportunity fire heading our way. I think they can see the bridge. Yeah. Every little helps, so we can't get artillery over it. Melee. Add some melee. Help if I selected the bridge. Get these troops involved. Ah. Why isn't there just a button to... God damn it. Okay, start that one again. Begin melee. Yes. I will get used to this by the end of turn 388, I swear. Melee. Add to melee. Melee. Okay, that was worth it. What we got? 104. So he can just about get cavalry over there. We've got some skirmishes here. I'll have a go at his skirmishes. Just because we can. And some more skirmishes here. We'll try the artillery. It won't do anything. Just a little bit of fatigue, if anything. Nothing. Didn't think so. And then we've got this bridge here. Still, it's the strongest bridge that we're still dealing with in a minute. Let's see if we can get it right first time. Begin melee. I wonder if having a leader with them actually in the melee is useful as well. Add to melee, look at that, first time. Oh, maybe, possibly. So a little bit higher than average. So they can't get artillery over now. There's still a good 2-3 turns worth there. Okay, we'll leave those troops here. We've got to keep some guys here. I doubt he'll go with cavalry into a town. Be a bit daft, a little bit unhistorical. They're there. Try to get those guys. Oh, they've still got one left. Try to get them out of the way. It's all now on the cavalry. Is the cavalry going to be enough to protect them? I can use them as I wish. That order from Blucher to save them, to spare them, hasn't come through yet. And then we might have to set up a defensive position on that road to Quatre-Bras. I don't want to yet, just in case we're going to get moving pretty sharpish. So quite a long turn that one. We've covered quite a lot. We've got some messages sent away. We're starting to get a bigger plan. Thinking about a bigger plan now. He's building up his forces. Can we see anything south of him? Nope. We're going to abandon Châtelet next turn or the turn after. Moignolet, we've got to be a little bit careful because we're going to be wide open there. And he's got a lot of troops coming and I've got nothing there. Can't divert Thielemann, he's too far away to know that that's happening. But there we go. Okay, I'll leave it at that. I'll send it over to the guys and see you on the next turn. Hello again, and back to turn 14 then. Just before turn 14 starts, I'll just to sort of generate a bit of content and make sure it's just not a turn followed by another turn followed by another turn you're watching. Just want to start looking at the Prussian order of battle and have a look at the troops that we're actually fighting with in a little bit more detail. So we're just going to go through first corps, and then the next video we'll do second corps, and then third corps, and then eventually Bülow's fourth corps when he arrives on. So we're going to have a look at the Prussian order of battle. So I think rather than do this all in one, because this will be, I mean, potentially to look at an order of battle for 4 corps, for a whole army, is a video in one. I'm going to split it into corps and just have a look at individual corps for, you know, over the next few videos, and just break it down. So as I'm playing with the Prussians, I wasn't that familiar with the Prussians. You know, everybody knows a lot about the British and Anglo allies at Waterloo, and the French, of course, just because there's been so much written about it. There has been for the Prussians to a certain extent. However, in the UK, I think everybody would normally go with Anglo allies, and as I said, everybody's familiar with the French. But it's been really interesting to actually read about the Prussians and do a little bit of research into them and expand my knowledge. It sort of forced me to do that just because, it's such a long campaign. It'd be nice to know who I'm actually fighting with. And it'd be nice for you guys to know who I'm fighting with as well. So we've got the army of Niederrhein, or here am Niederrhein. Niederrhein, should I say. And Blucher is our field marshal in charge, and his chief of staff, or staff officer, or ADC, whatever you want to call him, is Gneisenau. Now we have First Corps under Zieten. We've got Pirsch with his Second Corps. We've got Thielemann with his Third Corps, and then we've got Bulow, who will come in later on with his Fourth Corps. So I'm going to break it down and have a look at each brigade, have a look at their strength, their numbers, their units, and we'll just basically go through it like that, just to have a look at what we're actually playing with. So, Zieten's First Corps. Now, the Prussians slightly differed in their organisation and called what we would consider a division. They actually called it a brigade, but for all intents and purposes, it is actually a division. The other small difference is about fusiliers. The Prussians used fusiliers or classed them as light troops, such as, I'm not going to say rifles, but just because they were armed with muskets, but similar to the French Voltigeur or Tirailleur or something like that. Whereas other nations sort of had fusiliers as pretty much as a musketeer, as a normal line troop. The Prussians, when it says fusiliers, they actually considered them and classed them as light troops and did light troop duties, basically. Okay? So here we go. 1st Infantry Brigade, First Corps. We've got Major General Steinmetz. He is in charge of the 1st Brigade. And then we've got the 2nd Brandenburgisches Regiment under Oberstleutnant Othengraven. And he's got 2 battalions of the 12th Regiment and the 2nd Brandenburg Regiment. He also has a Fusilier Battalion and a Jaeger detachment as well. So his strength, all in all, is 2,750 men. Quite a good unit. Quite a good regiment, but if you can see, we've got Class B, or Quality B, Quality B, Quality A, and the skirmishers of the Jaeger detachment are also Quality A. So some decent troops there. As you'll see, it's not always the case for the Prussians, but they're not too bad. That's one of my better units within First Corps. It was certainly within the 1st Brigade. Next in line then is Major Lawrence with his 4th Brandenburgisches Regiment. He's again got 2 battalions of the 24th Regiment, which are the 4th Brandenburgisches. And he also has a Fusilier Battalion. You'll notice for a infantry brigade, that's a very similar pattern. The 2 battalions of line troops of musketeers and a battalion of Fusiliers. And then there's going to be some form of light troops in addition, usually sort of Schützen or Jaeger detachments. Which, there we go. So he's got the 2nd and 3rd Schützen of the 24th Regiment as well. All in all, we've got a total of 3,000 men-at-arms. Still with the 1st Brigade, you'll see that every brigade mostly has its own Landwehr regiment. These were troops trained from the civilian population. It's quite interesting if you want to read up. When the French invaded in 1806, they limited the Prussian army to, I think, between 40 and 60,000, depending on which book you read. Now, they always maintained an army larger than that, but just to keep it below that cap, or not to sort of take the mickey too much with numbers, what they used to do is, train chaps up and then release them back into the population as a sort of trained militia almost. And then take maybe 10 more recruits, do the same, release them, and then bring some more troops in and do the same. So that basically everybody had military training, quite a good system. Now the problem is these Landwehr troops usually aren't very good. They tended to be the ones that weren't exactly fit for military service, sort of frontline infantry battalions. But that's not to say, okay, the quality is not that great, but that's not to say they didn't at times distinguish themselves and actually did quite well. So the 1st Corps, the 1st Infantry Brigade, this is our 1st Westphalian Landwehr Regiment under Kleist. Oberstleutnant Kleist, and again 3 battalions of sort of Landwehr Regiment line troops for all intents and purposes, and they've got 2 detachment of Jaegers. All in all, 2,825 men. First Corps Brigade Artillery then, we've got Battery 7, Battery 7 and Horse Artillery Battery 7, so totaling 16 guns, and then of course we've got our supply, our munitions column. Going on to the 2nd Infantry Brigade then, this is under Major General Pirsch. Now this is the brother of the Corps Commander Pirsch, okay, so he is related by blood. And Oberstkämpfen has the 1st West Prussian Regiment, again 2 battalions of the 6th Regiment, which is the 1st West Prussians, and then a Fusilier battalion. And then 2 Jaeger detachments, A and B, totaling 200 men. So all in all, 2,625 men. We then go to, now I've got a slightly different name in my order of battle. It's Major Quat on there, if that's how you say it. Major von Hichtenbrock the first, okay. And this is the 1st Bergisches Regiment, again 2 battalions of the 28th Regiment, then a Fusilier battalion with 2 Jaeger battalions, or detachment should I say, totaling 2,625 men. Going on to the 2nd Brigade Westfalens, our Landwehr troops, we've got the 2nd Westfalen Landwehr Regiment under Major Winterfeld, and he's got his 3 battalions with a 1 single Jaeger detachment in this case. Total fighting power or strength 2,550. 2nd Brigade Artillery then, we've got only the 1 battery of 8 guns, 6-pounders, and that's battery number 3, so totaling 8 guns, and of course the supply, munitions column. Getting on to the 3rd Infantry Brigade then, this is Oberleutnant Seelitz, guys, the 2nd West Prussian Regiment. Usual story, 2 battalions of the 7th Regiment with a Fusilier battalion and a single Jaeger detachment of only 50. Decent quality troops again, as you can see, BB, A and A. Total standing force, 2,300. The 2nd Bergisches Regiment of the 3rd Brigade then, under Major Heimen. He's got 2 battalions of the 29th Regiment, plus his Fusilier battalion, 2 Jaeger detachments, and all in all 2,425 men at arms. Not the best regiment, as you can see. We've got DD, CCC, so not too bad, not the best. And the Landwehr troops in the 3rd Brigade are the 3rd Westfalen Landwehr Regiment under Major Fischius, I'm going to say. 3 battalions of the Westfalen Landwehrs and 2 Jaeger detachments, which aren't too bad actually. The Jaeger detachments tend to be sort of specialist troops. A little bit like the Free Corps, but not recruited the same way. But these guys would often sort of arm and dress themselves and pay for themselves, and had a little bit more autonomy maybe than the Landwehr troops. So they are half decent. Brigade Artillery then, a little bit of a strange one with this one I thought. So we've got 1 battery of 6-pounders, battery number 8, and we have attached to the so Jagers, I forgot to say that earlier, Major General Jager is in charge of the 3rd Infantry Brigade, and he has with his artillery the 1st and 4th Schutzen. Remember 2nd and 3rd Schutzen are way back up with the 1st Infantry Brigade, pretty sure they were. And then we've got our usual munitions column now there. So 350 men with 8 guns make up the 3rd Brigade artillery. Our 4th Infantry Brigade then, under Oberstleutnant Schutter, is kind of a reserve as far as I can see, and he's got the 3rd, and Major Quat has the 3rd Schlesischer Regiment, and he's got 2 battalions of musketeers or infantry, slightly under strength, as you can see, I would say, and then this Fusilier battalion. All in all, 1,625 men. Still with the 4th Infantry Brigade, the 2nd Westfalen Line Regiment then, or Infantry Regiment, under Major Stengel. These are the guys that are getting into trouble, or potentially going to get into trouble at Moignolet. He's got 2 battalions of the 19th Regiment and a Fusilier battalion attached to them as well. All in all, 1,625 men. And quality, average, I'd say. The Landwehr troops then, under van der Grossen. He's got 3 battalion of the 4th Westphalian Landwehr Regiment and a Jaeger detachment, which isn't too bad. So far, we haven't got the best of the Landwehr troops, or Zieten hasn't got the best of the Landwehr troops, certainly in his corps. 4th Brigade Artillery then, 1 battery of 6-pounders, equaling 8 guns, battery number 15, and a Nachschusswagen, which means supply wagon. I'm not sure why that's changed. I can't find anything apart from the translation. What's different between a munitions column and a Nachschusswagen? I don't know if anybody out there actually knows. Basic supply, I would say they do exactly the same thing, it's just semantics and they're named slightly different. We then got some reserve cavalry. We've got 2 brigades of cavalry with our corps, and we've got the 1st Cavalry Reserve and then the 1st Cavalry Brigade. The 1st Cavalry Reserve is under Roda, and General Major Treskov is in charge of the 1st Cavalry Brigade. We got 500 2nd Dragoon regiments, which are the 2nd West Prussians, and they are very, very good troops, as you see. A star troops, A plus troops, so they're pretty much near enough some of the best you can get in the game, or best rate in the game. 600 men of the 5th Dragoons, the Schlesischer Regiment, and we've got the 4th Hussars, which are again the Schlesischer Regiment as well. And then we've got the 3rd Ulanen, or Ulans, or Lancers if you like, and they're also Schlesischer Regiment. Now this is slightly different to the order of battle that I've got and I'm reading. My order of battle says that we've got the 2nd Regiment Dragoons, which are West Prussian, tick that box. The 5th Dragoons are part of the Brandenburgisches Prince Wilhelm. So they're not part of the Schlesischer Regiment, as it says in the game. I've gone with what the game says, because I know how much research goes into their orders of battle, and I'm not saying that mine is the best. It's from Napoleon.com, very good website, just because I managed to get hold of a printer where I could print out everything I could about Prussians. So it's slightly different, and the Hussars I've got as the 4th Hussars. There are Schlesischer Regiment as well. Yeah, right, so that's right. And the Uhlans are the 3rd Brandenburgisches Regiment. So a little bit of variation between what I've got in front of me and what the game says, but we've got to go with what the game says, otherwise we're going to get confused. And they also have an attached 8-gun horse battery, with 6-pounders, and that's battery number 2. All in all, overall strength 2,075 troopers with 8 guns, 8 horse artillery, 6-pounders. The 2nd Brigade then is under Oberstleutnant Lutzow, and he has the Landwehr cavalry, so very similar to the Landwehr regiments, the infantry, the line regiments. The Prussians also had sort of almost like militia, but not quite militia, cavalry units as well. They actually made up almost the majority, about 40% of what was in the 100 Days campaign. Numbers aren't great, so we got the 1st Kurmach Landwehr Regiment and the 2nd Kurmach Landwehr Regiment, and we have the Westphalian Landwehr Regiment. However, attached to the 2nd Cavalry Brigade is also some half decent, well, they're quite good actually, and numerous. The 6th Ulanen, or 6th Lancers, or Uhlans, which is basically Lancer, and they're from the Lutzow Regiment. Okay, so total numbers there is 1,650 troopers. Having a look at corps artillery then, we've got battery number 2, number 6, number 7, and battery number 1. And we also have howitzer battery number 1, and we've got battery number 10. So we've got some howitzers in there, we've got some light guns in there, and we also have our big 12-pounders, which aren't too bad. All in all, our corps artillery makes up 32 guns. However, again, going back to my order of battle, I've followed with what it is in the game, but my order of battle says 1st Corps Artillery. We actually had 3 horse artillery batteries, the 2nd, 7th and 10th. So okay, the 10th it's saying still foot artillery, it's not horse artillery. 7th is still foot artillery, and the 2nd is also foot artillery. 2nd and 6th, okay. Okay, so there was a few more men in what I have here. Not to worry, not the end of the world. And also with our first corps, we've got a bit corps support. We've got two field pioneer companies, the first and the second, totaling 150 men, and another munitions quadrant as well. So, all in all, full first corps. I'll just blanked out the other corps because, as I said, we'll have a look at them another day. Men at arms, infantry then 29,175 with 3,025 cavalry and 80 guns. Now, slight disparity again with the order of battle I've got. I'm 16 guns short. I've got 96 guns on my page, but apparently according to my order of battle, there were some more guns with should be present with the reserve, with the core artillery. Never mind. And I've got 32,500 men on my one. But if I add up the infantry and the cavalry, I think it was 32,900. So I'm slightly over. I think that's a case of rounding up, because when I look at mine, it's sort of 8,018 men for this brigade and 7,307 for that guy. So they just rounded up, I would say. All in all, very, very accurate this game. And I would, as I said, I entrust the game perhaps more than I would another order of battle, because they have a look at several orders of battle, and those that know, you never ever find an order of battle the same in another source. That's part of the fun of it, who was where, how many did they have, who was leading them. Everybody says a little bit different, and it's about gathering all that information and actually appraising yourself and seeing what you rely on. But I know that the John Tiller games, they have done that on my behalf, so I don't have to read 17 orders of battle. They've done that and averaged that out and got a median average and said, right, that's the one that we're going to go with. And they can justify it. So there we go, that's Zeaton's first corps, and next time we're going to have a look at Pierce's second corps. And we'll have a look at Pierce's second corps in the next one. So, as for turn 14 then, just arrived a few hours ago, but quite busy. A lot of blue on the screen now, why? There we go, that's better. A lot of blue on the screen, around Charleroi, as we expected, but it is time to get out. He has diverted his cavalry there, look. I don't really want to attack with them, I want to save them. That message hasn't come through yet. Actually, what was that message? We did have something arrive turn 14. What we got? We got two. So Zeaton to Blucher. Sighted the enemy, shot at the enemy cavalry, has crossed the river southwest of Tergny. I have left the rear guard to defend. Okay, enemy is increasing strength to the south of Charleroi and to the southwest. I'm attempting to blow the bridges and withdraw my forces. So, but Blucher has sort of superseded that to a certain extent, because then he sent him immediately withdraw your corps and march northwards towards Melee. Send situation report immediately upon receipt of this message. So that's going to be another 6 turns before that actually gets there. So basically nothing changes. Any more messages for turn 14s? We've got 2 there. And the rest of them, we've got another one coming up next time. So not much we can do courier system wise. Well, I don't want to use this cavalry. However, he hasn't received that message from Blucher yet. Therefore, he doesn't know that he has to use them sparingly. So, got to get the balance right. If I have to use them, I will use them. Bridges, can we get them this time? 141 and 104. So, at least another turn or 2 with both of those bridges. We'll give it a go. What else have we got here? SARS, a lot of horse artillery just. Guard troops, skirmishers and guard skirmishers. Some guard, I think they're Tyrolios, aren't they, by the look of them. Okay, moving up to Moignolet. Oh, actually, Châtelet first. Excuse me, quite quiet in Châtelet, as we sort of expected. He's moved all these troops up here. And it's going to be a case of, how did he route them? I should really start watching these turns. But they were there. What on earth did he route them with? Seriously, but I should really start watching these turns. Who'd attacked, but he used all his movement points. He hasn't got any guns there. Is it me? That's a mystery. That's a mystery. How has he managed to disorder these guys that were there? Huh. Bizarre. Bizarre. Right then, plan for this turn. I can't remember, it's been a few days since we actually did anything. So second corps in the north, they have to still continue to heading towards Ligny. And we're going to have to disperse in Fleurus with Tielemann's third corps because he hasn't got that message yet to say, get your arse up to Ligny. Actually, no, it's not to Ligny, was it? It was up this road to Gembloux, Sombref, and then across to Marbais. And then Pierce's first corps, we're going to carry on withdrawing them as we can up that road towards Fleurus. Excuse me, and then when he gets that message, then start to divert them up here to Melee, which is a little bit further up than I thought. Okay, up there. Long term then, I'm just starting to think, is that far enough up? Marbais is there. Going across, okay, we've got Melee there, so they're probably going to have to come up a little bit more. I can't look at his dispositions, that's the annoying thing. Oh, I suppose I can for the one, no, they're too far away to have a look adjacent. If they were within, say, 20 hexes, we can assume that, you know, outlying units may be talking to each other. The local populace will say that such and such a unit is in such and such a place, but it's unfair to have a look at those dispositions. Anyway, we're using the courier system. So, big plan stuff is still all in action. Get everybody away from Charleroi can. Continue trying to blow those bridges. Continue to bring my reserve cavalry down. And, yeah. Châtelet again. Maybe start withdrawing. That bridge is 74. So we should, hopefully, blow that bridge by now. In this time, should I say. Moignolet, I'm going to have to maybe bring that reserve cavalry over, actually. They were told to sort of cover that dead ground, but I do need sort of a rear guard to cover that road. Because the other way around is it's a long way around. Other side of the river, cross that bridge over there, then up there, but then he'll bump into Tielemann's corps if he does go that far north. Right, so I'm going to get everybody moved that needs to get moved, and business as usual, get back to you after that, and then we'll get some combat resolution done. Right, that's everybody moved. Couple of bits of information, we might as well start at Moignolet for the first combat, and find out what actually caused those guys to rout in the first place, those Westphalian Linever. It was these guys, these chaps, these line troops. I couldn't actually see them from where we were, and then I brought these guys forward to sort of take their place to cover that southern part of Moignolet, that road in, and we got caught by, or we didn't get caught by them, however we bumped into them. So what have we got? 750 fresh B, and he's got, I think that's worth a crack. Now does this artillery? No. However, while we're there, we might as well. Okay, and we're going to soften them up. Oberstleutnant Seydlitz, let's see if you can't push them back. That'll be a no. Okay, fair enough. You can still go a little bit more. Why? Oh, because you can't move closer to the enemy. Okay, that's what you can do. Okay, so that's a bit about Moignolet. Carried on going up the road towards Fleurus with who I could. And then I suppose the next bit will be Châtelet then. And Châtelet, what I didn't realise is, didn't check my side of the bridge, his gunfire actually routed these troops. So, excuse me. So they've actually, they're withdrawing now. And let's see what we can do with this bridge. Can we blow it this turn? 2 see that, that's more than half. Let's have a go with this gun. A little bit left. A little bit left. I wonder if skirmishers can have a go. Look at he's eating. He's a brave man, isn't he? He's a very brave man. Let's just get you out of the way a little bit, I think. Just in case. Actually, go up with these Brandenburgers. Try and unroute them. Okay, so what do we want to do? We'll try our best to melee with these skirmishers. I'm not sure if we can. The disorders can't anyway. Okay, so ignore that. Excuse me, I can't do anything with them. For the sake of 5, for goodness sake. Well, there we go. It is what it is. And then in Charleroi itself then, movement-wise, getting everybody up on that road towards Fleurus. I started to bring that reserve cavalry down further to the east towards Mornulay. And my reserve cavalry here across the bridge. And they're going to sit on this side of the river, just because that's a nice sort of semi-defensive barrier for his cavalry to come across. But it does look like he wants to go north. Right, my artillery. There's quite a nice line of sight over everybody there. Take the closest unit, I suppose. That's who we've got the best chance. Both are 100. Some lancers. No good. No good. Now, I was just going to say, so, Cheskov, you can come in the middle. That's one thing I don't like. I know we don't play with the no detached melee rule. But if I was to do that, for example, with the no detached melee rule on, don't forget we've got it covered in house rules anyway, these dragoons may become detached. Even if I then move them over to where the leader is, they remain detached until the next turn. It's infuriating. It's not realistic. But there we go. Okay, so this bridge, the Charleroi bridge is at 104. It's a good 2 turns worth there. Looks like we lost a gun. Yeah. It's going to be a few more turns if that's the only case. Okay, where are we? Again, melee. Get these chaps in on it. We get the skirmishers there as well. Absolutely pathetic. Not much better at all. I was very poor at that. I was expecting a few more. I'm sort of getting fixated with these bridges a little bit. It might end up costing me. Slightly better. See what we can do here. That's a melee. They've been hit hard by that artillery. 18. So he can't get cavalry over there, so or his artillery, but he can get these troops over. Let's fire on who we can. Absolutely useless against artillery, I think. So we'll try. Never know. No. Here we've got some skirmishers. Skirmishers on these guard troops. Yeah, the guard, are they? Yeah. So, other than that, I don't think there's much more we can do this turn. So, just sort of short term, I'm going to have to give up Charleroi. I really am. I'm getting fixated with these bridges. We didn't quite make it. It was worth a gamble, I think. Especially if he hasn't got any pioneers up there. It was definitely worth a gamble. But I don't want to do it at the risk of a whole sort of core on his end bumping into pretty much half a core of mine, if that. Châtelet, we will get that bridge next turn, for sure, and then withdraw completely from Châtelet. Might leave a skirmisher unit. Are they independent skirmishers though? And they're detached. However, we'll see. But we'll come out of Châtelet anyway, blow that bridge. It should only take one side from guns, so we'll limber up the other guns and get them on that road as well. Don't want to lose too many guns. Moonley as well, again, it's going to be a case of getting that cavalry down to provide overwatch on Moonley, just to allow everybody to successfully get out of there. Second Corps are still coming down from the north. I have told them, or sent a message off to get them diverted down towards Marbay. And Third Corps, there to get to Fleurus. Tiedeman's Third Corps get to Fleurus, and then eventually they're going to get up to the north. Because Pierce is in with Blucher, I will send orders to him, even though it's direct, just so we can keep track of what was said, and in the spirit of fairness, keep track of all the orders, because Blucher will be going, don't forget. So what's going to arrive next turn? Okay, we can blacken off or redden off these messages. They've been received. On the top, 19, 18, 15. So what's arriving? Blucher will know. Okay. So he's then got to march to Ligny. That message that was this is getting interesting. That one little cock up from a mistype. It's caused a little bit of chaos. So anyway, so next turn. However, we're assuming that that message arrived at the start of the turn, and he can't do anything until the next turn. So even though it arrives in this case, he's still then got to wait until turn 16 to actually act upon it. He can stop, sort of halt where he is, but he wouldn't be allowed to physically go up or start to go up towards Ligny. And then Blucher will also know. Oh, so Tiedemann. Aha. So he's going to get 2 messages in one. Fair enough. I disregard what I just said. So he will know his sort of second orders, the ones that stand, the ones that we want him to do. Go up that road towards Gembloux and then head to some Bref, which is sort of northwest. And then get to Marbay, and then I suppose we start getting Second Corps up there as well. When will Second Corps, both Second Corps detachment? So he's going to find out in a couple of turns. However, he'll be there or thereabouts anyway, because he's on his way to Ligny. Okay, hope you enjoyed that one. Thanks for all the comments, I really do appreciate them. I like reading them, I try to reply to them if I've got time. Got a nice dialogue going. You've all sort of turned into my ADCs and staff officers, which is good though. And I think, just to confirm, the master plan is to meet up with the British or the Anglo allies somewhere up here to the north. It's the only chance we've got. The pincer plan, it'd be so nice to pull it off. I'd be a genius, and I thought, well, maybe it would be a double bluff. Maybe it's too obvious and he wouldn't expect me to do it. Then he'd go after the allies, and but then it could spectacularly fail, because he just turns east on me, destroys me, turns west on my ally, and then has a fight with him. And then this will be a very short series. So as nice as it was in principle, I don't think it's going to work out. Okay, thank you very much for watching, guys. See you for turn 15.